Hi there, welcome to Made by Janot. We are here with a flip through today. Santa's Ledger is finally done. I'm gonna sit down because this is a big book. And I highly recommend you grabbing a cup of coffee or tea or whatever beverage of your choice because this is gonna be a while. So Santa's Ledger, it is a book, Santa's memory keeping book, you can call it that. And it is made out of a repurposed book. This was published in 1979, so it's not very old, but it's yummy. It's a big one. Let's measure it. It is over 10 inches, 10 and a quarter by, 10 inches by 7 inches. And the spine, look at this. 2 and a quarter. So that's quite a big spine. And it has 15 signatures sewn in with a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. And it has a total of 368 pages, plus some small ones so that I didn't count. As you can see, it has a closure, and that's just a satin ribbon, and you can remove it if you like, because it's fastened with an eyelet on the back. On the front cover, we have the ledger itself, or a piece of it, and a picture of Santa holding his big book. We have a little hand-stamped label that says December French. On the spine, we have a label called Cash Book, because it's a ledger after all, where we have a little elf reading a list of nice children. On the back, there is a tiny collage up here. So that's all about the cover. As I said, 15 signatures, 368 pages. Let's go. We have the first spread. The end papers are made out of antique ledger papers that I have backed onto some file folder. Then I did some stamping around the edges. I think that looks kind of fun. This is a little bookmark that I made with kids on it because Santa, he loves kids. Kids' laughter is the best sound in the world, according to him. This is the first page. We have Santa's ledger up here, and we have some découpage to Santa, and it says Père Noël, which is Santa Claus in French. Here we have the publication date of the book, 1979. I wrote it in pencil there because it's in the Roman numerals. We have starting out with some tie-dye paper with lace. We have some scrapbooking paper. It's not cardstock, but it's thinner. A little image down here with two kids looking up the chimney waiting for Santa Claus. We have lots of letters in this journal because the letters from the kids to Santa Claus. We have a December calendar from let's see if I can remember. I thought it said 1901. I wrote it down. Let's see. We have another vintage ledger in here, because in a ledger you have lots of ledgers. So Santa has been keeping his numbers. He's been keeping things, stuffed his memories into this big ledger as the December 1901. It's a memory. And we have lots of stuff. Here I have used a big Tim Holtz backdrop and sewn it on just to make a big pocket. And inside it is a notepad with some strap, also made out of a Tim Holtz backdrop. And lots of note paper in here. And we have the same stamp as on the front. And we have some brads that are snowflakes to keeping it together. So you can remove these and add more pages, or remove these pages, or do whatever you like. I have covered up many of the pages in the original text block because they were quite boring, black and white art, and many of them were not very nice. So I covered them up to create more writing space. And down here we have once again Santa carrying his ledger. Sorry, I had to get a sip of my drink. We have more tea-dyed paper. And this one had a little flip here that I extended with another Tim Holtz backdrop. And he used lots of them in this journal. Extra space to add your photos or journal or whatever you like. We have another letter with a red and green border. Is cute. We have a Swedish Christmas stamp. Here we have a pocket made out of a postcard, not a postcard, a Christmas card of a Christmas tree, traditional Swedish Christmas tree, presents under the tree, the amaryllis, lots of, me this is traditional Swedish. And we have a big tag here. I have done a bit of decoupaging of a napkin, added a few small labels sewn around it, added a piece of fabric at the top. You can journal on the back of that as well. Lots of sewing. All the threads are hanging and dangling, but you can cut them off because they are knotted. So if you don't like these, red and green, you can just cut them off. We have some Christmas music. We have this lovely image, the kids watching the Christmas tree, and they are amazed. Ooh, it's beautiful. And Daddy and Mommy are waiting for them to go to bed. I have covered up the back, so you can write there. In the center of the signature, we have an antique, I believe, invoice from 1893. That's old. And on the back here we have another Tim Holtz backdrop, and here's the first girl, because there is some stories about special kids, Santa's special kids. This was in 1979, the same year the original book was published. And this little girl is called Anna. And yes, it's me. This is actually me when I was 4. So I think that's quite appropriate. And I remember this, or I've been told, and there's a whole series of photographs. The photographer had a red little ball that he gave to me to play with here in the studio, because this is taken in a studio. And I love that ball, and I wanted to play with it. And when we were leaving, I didn't want to let it go. I wanted to take it home, and I couldn't. But I really, 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 really wished for a red ball. Red, shiny, beautiful ball for Christmas. And of course, Santa gave one to me. So that's one of his memories. We have more covered up page, extra writing space with some stars on it. The back of the envelope. Another flip out with coffee dyed paper, no tea dyed paper, and you can extend or do whatever you like with that. Here we have our first tab, which says December, and it's from Edith Holden, and I added a little dangle to it that says 25 in red. I have aged the frame, the metal frame, with, what's it called? Alcohol inks, and on the back there is a piece of ledger, so that's quite fun. And there is a bulb pin holding it there. We have more lace dyed tea dyed paper. On this piece of music I did a bit of stenciling. That's a snowflake, and after I did the stenciling and it had dried, I added some of these Spellbinders splatter effect sparkle to it, and I think that turned out quite nice. Fun. Here we have a pocket made out of embossed paper. This is wallpaper, and I added backed it onto another paper because it was kind of starting to crack, and I wanted to make a pocket out of it. I added this Tim Holtz ephemera to it. And inside the pocket, by the way, this is handmade paper that is hand stamped. We have this envelope. I made this in one of my Use It or Lose It. You open it up like that, and we have journaling space in here, pages, and we also have an extra pocket. So that's a fun addition. Lots of extra space to journal. Some hidden journaling in there. We have another letter to Santa. Here we have another tab out of Edith Holden, and this one says Christmas, so I circled that with some red pencil. And in the center we have the Madonna and the Child, Giovanni Antonio Boltraffio. So it's an old master's painting. So this book is really eclectic and still has a bit of a theme. As you can see, lots of space to add your own additions to the journal, to add your own memories, to add your own photos, etc. Here we have another extra writing space, and we have 25 up here for Christmas Day. We have another extended flip with Tim Holtz backdrop, and a letter to Königliche Schwedische Botschaft. It's Foreign Office, yeah. So that's interesting. Here we have a little pocket I made out of using this Tim Holtz photo from the Christmas paper doll set, I think, and I sewed around it a couple of times. And then inside it is this little image. Someone is playing on the ice of a lake in 1930. Bunch of kids, and we have this postcard. Thoughts from my rocking chair, and that must be Santa's rocking chair, I think. So they go in there for now. We have December pages from Marjolein Bestan, a lovely Dutch artist who has the most beautiful animal paintings. More lovely scrapbooking paper. In the center we have a 1947 calendar from 23rd, 24th and 25th of December. So that's Christmas for you. Here we have a tip-in of a lovely family, probably in France. And love the layering here, all the colors, and you can write on the back. We have more of Marjolein Bestan. Here we have a little tab again, and this is made out of the Tim Holtz snippets, and this one is a book cover, and in it is a little jangle with a bell that I got from my friend Carol at Friendly Quail. She has a YouTube channel, Friendly Quail. It's got both Sari silk and laces and a bell, and yeah, it's cute. We have the back of the envelope, and here we have another flip with Santa out skiing. And on this page from the original text block we have a window, Christmas tree ornaments, and I added some acetate and added this guy sitting here, and inside it is, you can add your own photos, is for now this little small tag made out of collage. I made collage strip. We have more tile paper, and here we have our first map. Of course Santa has lots of maps because he needs to find his way around the world, right? We have more ledger and more letters. And in the center here we have a December overview from the 1st until the 29th the 31st, so you can add little memories in these circles. Here we have a little flip out. You can journal on the back. And these two cute kids and the mushroom. So cute. As I said, Santa loves kids. Rest of the map and the tea dye. Here I added some Jan Brett's images on this covered up page. And on this side, I covered up with ledger that I extended. And oh, that's a little pocket. You could put something fun there. That will be a surprise. Really cute anyway. Have more tea dye paper with a flip. Once again, the amaryllis. A real Christmas flower here in Sweden. Envelope, page from the original text block, not covered up. More ledger, and here of course have to have facts about reindeers, different areas of the world and different parts of the year, like summer and in April and autumn they have different colors. Here we have another map of Europe, and this one is not really new. It's from 1905, so we need to update this because many of the countries here doesn't even exist anymore. Yeah, we have this snowstorm. The way I did this was that I took an envelope and then I just gessoed, and I wanted to have that as a backing to something, but it looks like a snowstorm, and that's been sewn onto another page. This is a lovely red cottage in the forest. Maybe it's where Santa lives. We have a side tuck made out of Tim Holtz collage strip, and I added some more pieces to it, and I did a bit of stitching with my sewing machine, and I added a bit of lace. Inside it is this beautiful big tag you can journal on. Has some netting and some an angel and a bit of matching colors there. Once again, love those kids. More ledger. Here we have a stamped reindeer, or maybe not a reindeer, just a deer, a stag. And on this we have a little stocking that's been filled. Here we have another flip, and that's just a page from a reminiscence book, the latest one I think. The Christmas theme with the Christmas tree there, and you can journal all the way in here. Hidden journaling. Here we have another covered up page from this little, this is actually a reproduction of an antique Christmas card. It's Swedish. Cute. We have more stenciled tea-dye paper and more scrapbooking paper. Here we have recipes. Plum pudding, of course, chocolate sponge. You can do in Christmas time. This comes from a Cracker Barrel cookbook, and it's got cord binding, is that the name? And it's, you flip it over, so that's upside down. Another Santa's letter, more on the ledger, and here we have the kids of Carl Larsson, which was a famous Swedish artist, and they're waiting for Christmas. The day before Christmas, it says. And it was painted in 1892 by Carl Larsson. Inside here is very traditional Swedish poem about Christmas, and I learned to recite this when I was a kid, and I still know it by heart. But it's about the Santa living on the farm. Another letter to Father Christmas. Here's a pocket made out of a Christmas card. Love that one, really cute. We have a tag, but it's not just a tag. You can open it up and journal inside and on the back. So it's a big extra journaling space. And as I said, this one is 368 pages, so it will last you for a few Christmases. Here we have more Atkinson's House Christmas Rye Bread. That's something. We have Poinsettia. Down here, that's decoupaged. And another flip out extended with the backdrops. Here we have Santa sitting on this Santa's workshop ticket. How funny. And he's reading his ledger. This is actually some wrapping paper. I just love this one. I have this piece left and I added it to the journal. Another letter to Santa. An antique book page that is about Advent and Christmas. We have a CD here, C for Christmas, and that's just a register index of a ledger. In the center here we have another invoice, and this one is from 1922, so it's antique, and I love it because it was red on it. The ledger here has been extended with some tea-dyed scrapbooking paper, and the back of the religious book, Christmas week, and more. But on this piece of original text block, it's been covered up with ledger, and on this side we have a big belly band I made in one of my Use It or Lose It. So it's a collaged belly band with lots of different things on it. It's been sewn here and there, and there's also a small envelope that flips out, and you could add something there. We just have a Christmas card that you can use for journaling in the back there. This flips out. This is waxed paper with an image of Santa, and that one is painted by a Swedish artist called Jenny Nyström. We have a Greek-French dictionary, because as Santa needs to keep up with the languages so he can talk if he gets lost or something. Another one of the letters to Santa, tea-dyed paper. He can't make all the toys himself, so here he has tucked in a folio with dolls' houses and doll carriages. And this is from Gamage's Christmas catalog. It's a reproduction and is from 19 something. More ledger from January. Look, all the fine doll things you can buy. We have another pocket. It's an envelope, not an envelope, it's a paper bag. And I did a bit of collaging here, and this is a genuine photo. And it says, "Off to the Land of Dreams." And we have a flip as well. And in the pocket we have another big tag. You can journal on the back. And we have on the back of the Greek-French dictionary, we have another tip out with a Scotch pine, and behind it is the man that's been buying a Christmas tree. And maybe the thing was that he didn't have much money at all, almost like the Cratchit family in Dickens' Christmas Carol, sorry. And he wrote a letter to Santa saying that he really wanted to give his kids a real Christmas. And as a few days later, he received a pay rise, and he bought a tree and a bunch of goodies and a Christmas present for his kid. So that's something that Santa wanted to remember. Here we have a little side pocket. As you can see, it says "Holiday Greetings" on this music paper. Inside it is a tiny book made out of Tim Holtz wallpaper and Santa Claus snow ephemera. And what's on the other side? Well, it's an envelope. And the envelope, let me show you. This is a fun edition. I did a bit of collaging here with a fussy cut and some watercolor swatches and stuff, and it flips out, and inside it is a notebook. I have sewed it in. So this is a new thing I started doing, and so you have an extra notebook here in the journal. Fun. Here we have a recipe for Christmas plum pudding, which is really needed because that's how you get your round belly as Santa Claus. And it's a backdrop, of course. Another letter. This one flips up and you can journal there. You can also add something secret behind it. And here I once again covered the text and I added some washi tape top and bottom. I thought that was really cute with a poinsettias. We have another index, and here it says S for Santa Claus. And you can flip that down and journal a little bit extra. I'm just gonna get a sip of my drink. We have more music. And here we have another old invoice, and this one is from 1937. So it's old. We have another pocket made out of a Christmas card. This one is with a mother and two kids decorating the tree. And they are holding Swedish flags. They have apples and they have different things in the tree. So it's the same artist as that painted the Santa Claus that was on waxed paper. And inside it is an altered postcard that is made into a Christmas journaling card. And here we have extended once again with the tea-dyed or coffee-dyed scrapbooking paper. Here we have a tip-in, and this is absolutely gorgeous. It comes from a book about photography, and I think she is so cute, the little girl. And you can journal on the back as well. Here we have a couple of things. First we have a embossed piece of handmade paper that I put in there. We also have this little girl and a doll. She sent a picture to Santa Claus because she wanted to thank him for the beautiful doll she got for Christmas, and show that she has the same curls in her hair that the doll has in hers. So he wanted to tuck that into his ledger. And down here we have little Kate. Kate was a really naughty girl. She came up when Santa Claus was visiting her house and putting the presents in the stockings. So he got a little picture of her sneaking around in her nightdress and her nightcap. So she's got a special place in his book. We have another map, and this one is further north in Sweden and a bit of Norway, and it has some fun tabs, so I wanted to add it. We have more tea-dyed paper with stencil. We have some dictionary page. This talks about Santa Claus. In folklore, a fat, white-bearded, jolly old man in a red suit who lives in the North Pole, makes toys for children and distributes gifts at Christmas time, also called Saint Nicholas, Saint Nick. And I had to circle that in because I think it was fun. And here we have a little mend as well. You might have seen this before. It's cellophane tape that is made to look vintage by using alcohol inks, and I love using that. Here we have another little tuck spot made out of a fussy cut out of 2 packages, and that comes from an Ideals magazine, and I just glued it down there and there. And we have a small little journaling card inside. We have another letter to Santa in the center. And in here we have Mats. And in 1932, it says there, he had one wish for his list, and that was a couple of skates, a pair of skates. And Santa, he did a bit of research, of course. Highest award, World's Fair Skate. Okay, that's good enough for him. So he got his skates at Christmas, of course. He was a good kid. And he later sent Santa a picture of himself wearing the skates around the neck so that he could go out skating. And Santa was so happy that he decided to keep it in his ledger. We have more of the dictionary and back of the map. As you can see, there is lots of writing space in this journal. And as I said, it's 368 pages, so it's more than a year if you write 1 page a day. We have another envelope. Here we have another tip-in. This is a December, which year was it again? Can't remember, but it's a genuine French calendar, and I backed it onto some a fly leaf, and I edge punched it so that you can so it will be more durable, because it was quite fragile. And you can journal on the back as well, and in here, and this one actually flips down, so you can journal even more down here. Love the layering here. Here we have another pocket, and this is a Christmas tree all tinseled up in 1947, and this is a Tim Holtz photo. And Santa really wanted to keep, he took a photo of this because he thought it was so beautiful, and it had so many packages already underneath it. Here we have a tag that I made using collage paper and collage masterboards and something old stuff. Really nice. We have a bit of Christmas ham recipe book, and yeah, here I wrote 9 December. To live fish, because in very old times there was a tradition to use dried up fish. You used it was långa. I wonder what that's called in English. I should have checked that up. A specific fish that you dried, and it was like boards when you dried it. And then on the 9th of December, this is really important, that's my name day in Sweden, Anna. You put this in a mixture of lye and water, and then it puffed up again and became like a jelly-ish. Oh, it's disgusting. But anyway, and then you rinsed it and changed the water to more and more water and less lye up until Christmas, and you ate it on Christmas with potatoes and white sauce, bechamel sauce. So it had to go in here. We have a children's book in the center here with a lovely Christmas tree. Lovely. Look at that. That's huge. Yeah, so you can journal all around. More of the mulled wine, etc. We have coffee and a pick-me-up, which is an American drink with coffee, port, brandy, and sugar and egg. Ooh, doesn't really sound like something I would like. We have a ledger, and here we have a little library catalog card that I have dunked into distress inks that I put them on a glass mat, and I added water, and then I dunked the card in there and let it dry. I added a stamp of a Christmas tree, this little genuine postal stamp called Polsilken Rovaniemi, which is where Santa Claus lives, of course. We have this little girl and just stitched around her, and I flipped up this corner and added a brad. I think that's cute. Added a piece of red lace to the hole there. Let it stick out. Here we have a traditional piece of Victorian scrap that I added onto this envelope. And another of the extended flips with Tim Holtz backdrops. Lots of them in this journal, which gives extra space. Here I have covered up the text once again and added a Fussy Cat Santa down there. And he is more like the Coca-Cola Santa style. Here we have a genuine antique Christmas post for soldiers, and inside it we have this journaling card with Santa standing on toe looking in the huge book. And this is the good children and bad children list. This is not this one, but he knows that it's there, and you can journal on the back of that, of course. Let's add it back to the pocket. We have one ledger. Here we have another envelope and more of the Marjolaine Bastin. Lovely holly there. And another invoice from 1921, so that's antique. Another one, red, of course. Lots of writing space. Here we have the 1942 calendar. And lovely poinsettias on the back. The back of the envelope, it also says Soldaten bei Nacht, Noël de Soldat, Natale de Soldado. So it's a Christmas mail for soldiers. We have a small little journaling card with a girl and her doll that she got for Christmas. Of course. We have another covered up page. And here we have Santa sitting down writing in his big book of memories. Santa's ledger. More tea-dye paper. Here we have another cute pocket, and it's made out of a postcard, a Christmas card with a fox with a Christmas hat. Inside it we have one to-do note with pine cones on it, and we also have this tall tag that I made in one of my Use It or Lose It's. Some stenciling and some Tim Holtz stuff. Really fun. Envelopes, a French dictionary has been mended with my full cellophane tape. In the center we have an image of Daisy, or Margaret O'Connor. She was princess in Sweden, and this is her eldest son. She loved being outdoors, skiing and doing fun stuff in winter, so she also played hockey. So this is an image of them. Really cute. Here we have another one from 1948. And this guy, he wanted a sled. So of course Santa took out his ledger, checked it out, checked out the Christmas toys for girls and boys, got him a lovely fast sled, and once again got a thank you note. Every now and then he gets a thank you note instead of he cherishes those, you know, because all the kids, they send in their wish lists and he's happy about that. But when he gets a thank you, that's even better. Yeah. So it's beginning to smell a lot like Christmas. Washi tape, and once again you can journal all the way down there. We have a little tab, and this is from an 1834 Danish psalm book, and these are also for Christmas. our ledger. Here in the center we have a little tab, CR, Christmas maybe. And inside the center is a picture, and this is from an Ideals magazine, vintage one. It says Christmas is a state of mind. And I added a piece of paper there so you can journal on the back as well. As you can see, we have lots of fun stuff here. Here is another covered up text. I have stamped a few stars there and added a envelope, tea-dyed envelope, coffee-dyed envelope underneath the lined paper. Inside the envelope is a small journaling card with birds on it, Sidensvans and Domherre in Swedish. I have no idea about the English names, and I think that's really a fun way to add an envelope. And we have reached the back, and we have another one of the huge pockets made out of a backdrop that I sewn on, and I also sewn here a little pocket on top of it. So here we have a little journaling card with two siblings. Be joyful, it says, and inside the big pocket is, oh, it's a Christmas card. You can journal on the back, but it's also a notebook. So if you have blank Christmas cards that's not been used, you can always do this. You can make them into little journals. Fun times. So we have reached the back. We have another same ledger and same stamping, and the eyelet. Oh, this huge book, this took a while, I believe, is available in my Etsy shop. So if you're interested, you can go over there and take a look. And until next time, I hope you really enjoyed this flip through. This was my last Christmas journal for 2025, and it will maybe be used in 2026, who knows. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Please leave a comment down below. Just say hi or say what you think of it. Can you even use a journal with 368 pages? I am curious about that. I just couldn't stop. I loved every second creating this journal. It is so much fun, and you can still add so much more. Yeah, thank you all for watching. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.